is the 77 WABC minicast.
KT McFarland is one of our most valued guests. You know KT. Worked for 4 presidents, including the great one we got right now, President Trump. She's also on Fox News all the time and visits us every Friday morning. KT McFarland. Good morning, KT.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be with you.
It's an honor to have you. So, look, you're into this journalism field now after all those great years of politics. You've been doing this a long time, radio with Imus years ago and television for a long time, and you're a New Yorker. So when you see the news that Ernie Anastos passed away, I'm compelled to ask you how you felt.
You know, he was a real class act. I mean, it's a business, as you know, where a lot of people are preening for the cameras and they take themselves very seriously, and it's all about them. But you always got the feeling with Ernie Anastos that he was there to tell you the story. He was there to give you the news. Who knows what politics he had? Nobody knew, because he was an old school guy. And the interview that you just played with him, it says it all. It says a lot about you, but it says a lot about Ernie Anastos, of what he was interested in. He was interested in a whole lot more than the headlines of the day, and he sure as heck was interested in somebody other than Ernie Anastos. It's a dying breed. It's an old school. And when you hear the passing of someone like that, all you can do is mourn, to think, wow, where are the Ernie Anastoses of today?
They don't exist, and I'm guilty of that. I'm partisan. Man, am I partisan. I really can't stand Democrats. Can't do it. Can't look to find those 1 or 2 moderate Democrats that exist. John Fetterman, maybe Marty Dolan, I don't know. They don't exist. I can't stand them. I hate them. So I'm guilty, okay? I'm a partisan hack, if you want to call me that. Ernie was never like that. The media today is news anchors like Bill Ritter here in New York. I mean, he makes me laugh. He's so obvious what he likes and doesn't like. And the nightly news people, you know, I spoke about this with Brian Kilmeade earlier. Folks like Rather, who turned out to be the worst. But to a better extent, Brokaw, Jennings, they hit it. They were also liberals, but they hit it. These days, Margaret Brennan doesn't even try to hide it. Neither does David Muir, or the guy that was on NBC all those years. I forgot his name already. Holt. It doesn't happen. Why don't these networks make their anchors be more like Ernie Anastos?
I think it's ego. It's ego on the part of the anchors, who think we care what they think more than what we care about the news and getting the straight news. And it's the agenda-driven media. In many cases, they're toadying up to the politicians of the day. It's never happened with Donald Trump. I mean, with Donald Trump, they hate him more than they love America. And when you see the response that you're getting from the media on the Iraq war, it's almost like, really, well, guys, what's your alternative? You want Iran to have nuclear weapons? Are you okay with that? Don't you think that's a challenge to the United States and our allies? But they seem to be far more concerned with nitpicking every little thing that President Trump is doing, whether it's his domestic policy, whether it's his economic policy, and now certainly with the Iran war.
I got a kick out of Marjorie Taylor Greene yesterday. To think I used to like her. I did. I liked MTG. Not anymore. So she's on Twitter yelling and screaming about how there's a new part of the Republican Party that's not buying into this one, that President Trump's administration is about one word and one word only, and it's not America. The word she uses is donors. That's it. That's all Trump cares about, is appeasing his donors, and that's why it's easy for her and Megyn and Tucker and all these anti-Semites to be anti-Semitic, because they just involve Israel in everything we do, which, of course, any common sense, sane person knows is ridiculous. But she is talking about this new part of the Republican Party that's going to come out and be completely different. And she's out there railing against this every day. So is Tucker Carlson. Thank God he's been excommunicated by President Trump. Somebody said to me a couple of days ago, America's waking up. Well, the last poll I saw, 42-40 in favor of Operation Epic Fury. So maybe they are waking up and figuring out what Trump is doing is actually right.
You know, the proof is in the pudding. So the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, which Iran has always kind of threatened to do and has been doing off and on for 40 years. I mean, on the Reagan administration, they tried to close down the Strait of Hormuz as well, to mine the Strait of Hormuz. But the thought now that somehow this is Israel's war, it's not Israel's war. Iran always wanted the ability to blackmail. Now, how is it going to blackmail? I mean, their goal is to death to America. And the way they're going to do it, they know they can't defeat America militarily. They know they can't defeat Israel militarily. So what they want to do is impose enough pressure, economic pressure, because they think that's our weak point, enough pressure, economic pressure on the United States, on the Europeans, on the Gulf Arabs, that the people will then rally their governments to say, okay, we're going to let Iran go. We're not going to challenge Iran in the region. The closure of the Strait of Hormuz has nothing to do with Israel. So the people who think this Iran war is all about Israel, look at what's happening. The Strait of Hormuz is where all the shipping goes, or a lot of the shipping goes, between Europe and the Middle East and Asia. It's not our shipping, it's their shipping. Where are our allies? Are they helping protect their sea lanes of commerce? No, they're not helping at all. Our allies in the region are. The Gulf Arabs are helping. Obviously, Israel is helping, but it's not Israel's trade that's going through the Strait of Hormuz. So the people who are grabbing onto this idea that it's all about Israel, it's all about the Jews, they're really they're missing the script here. They're really missing the point. It's Iran that wants death to America. It's the Iranian, Chinese, Russian, North Korean alliance that is aimed straight at the heart of America, but also at all of the things that we stand for.
The scary part, too, is go to Iran for a second. They're very far away, thousands and thousands of miles. Look what's going on in the United States. 4 terror attacks. 4 in the last 10 days. We had one right here. We had an ISIS-inspired couple of guys throwing bombs at Gracie Mansion. Of course, the mayor came out right away and blamed white supremacy and said, Rosenberg, we know that. We all know the story, okay? And it was so rich, considering the day before his wife was exposed as a Jew hater that she is. 70 to 100 likes of graphic images from October the 7th. But not just New York. You had Michigan yesterday. You had Virginia University. You've got one more in there somewhere. People screaming Allah Akbar. You believe this? In the United States, Allah Akbar, as they set to kill Americans. Jews, yes, but Americans first, all over our country. So when the mayor here in New York allows his wife to say what she wants to say and says, hey, listen, she's a private person. No, she's not. She's the First Lady of New York, you imbecile. She's not a private person. Allows that to happen and then makes an excuse for Mahmoud Khalil that the reason why he invited him for dinner on Sunday night so that Khalil can exercise his right to free speech, because that's all he's done, right? So what? He glorified October the 7th. That's free speech. But Rosenberg calls me a name. I'm going to cry in front of an audience. I'm going to cry. So you see that the mayor here in New York may be very emblematic of what's going on now across this country with a renewed interest in ISIS, radical Islam, and Americans under attack. Is all that fair to say?
I think it's fair to say, but I would add to that, they're paying no price for it. Are they being criticized? Maybe on your show they're being criticized, but are they being criticized in the media?
No,
they're not being criticized in the media. Are they being criticized by their own fellow Democrats? No, they're being cheered on. And so I think that there's that sense that, they're hiding behind the free speech. And sure, they have the right to free speech, but they should.
But wait a second. But if they've got the right to free speech, why don't I? Why do I?
Yeah, I would make that argument. Everybody's got the right to free speech, but you have to then pay the price. What is the price for your free speech? Presumably, the price would be that the fellow Democrats would come out and say, hey, wait a minute, Mr. Mayor, this is not the New York that we believe in. This is not the America that we believe in. You may have all the free speech you want, but you're going to have to pay a price, and the price you're going to have to pay is at the polls. You're going to have to pay the price in the criticism of the media. They're not paying any price. The only good news about all of this is that we finally have an FBI and a Department of Justice that are taking this threat seriously. The threat that, the America, it's not just Jew, it's America hating.
Right.
It's we hate America. We hate everything America stands for.
That's right.
And frankly, I would trace that back to a lot of that back to President Obama, who really, when he was asked, what do you think is exceptional about America? And he said, well, everybody thinks their country's exceptional. Nothing exceptional about America. It's the idea that America has been responsible, in their minds, responsible for a lot of the ills that have befallen the world for the last 20 or 30 years.
Yeah.
And therefore, America does not deserve to be a great leader in the world, and America deserves to be taken down a peg. It's that mindset that I think has warped a lot of the Democrat Party. I think it's warped a lot of the media. And sadly, I think it's warped a lot of New Yorkers who voted for the current mayor.
Idiots.